Ashreinu. We continue to learn this whole month of Sivan. Leilui Nishmas Chana Bat Shmuel Halevi and Sarah. Leilui Nishmas Pinchas Menachem Ben Avram David. In honor of Ira's here. Where's Ira? Yeah, Ira's here in honor of Ira's 50th birthday, which was earlier this month. Weekly sponsorship by Yael and Avi Miller, memory of Yael's Abba Avram Ben Zev Yehuda. It's on Yud Zayin Sivan, and today by Batya and Reb David Rich, memory of David's Abba Michal Ben Leib. Where's Mr. Rich? Oh, here. It's today's the Yortzeit?
Yeah.
Today's the Yortzeit. And how many years?
15.
15 years ago, your Abba's Yortzeit. All right. Tehen Nishmas Etzra B'Tzra Chaim. Ding 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 da 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 la 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 ya ba dum bum 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 am ba ba da ba dum ba bum 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 ba da ba dum ba dum bum 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 ba 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 dum ba ba da la 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 ba da ba dum bum bum ba dum ba 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 da ba dum bum ba dum bum 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 ba da ba dum bum bum ay ay didn't I didn't ay ay ba ba dum ba dum ba ba dum ba ay didn't ay ay didn't ba dum ba dum bum bum bam bam da dum ba ba dum bam bam ba dum ba bum ba dum ba dum ba dum bum What a schus we have living in Eretz Yisrael, learning the Torah of the Piasetzner Rebbe with such chaverim, not to be taken lightly or for granted. Every day is such a gift. What a matana tova we have. What a gift we have. Ashreinu shezachinu. All right, a friend, a brother in arms. Daf Tzadik Hey Perek Chet. If you're back for and Yitzchak Meir is in the house today. As a kid. Listen, if you're back, if you've been following this year and you actually came back again today, it means you have big kalim. That's all I could say. It means you have big kalim, because what we've been learning by the Piasetzner Rebbe has been a very, very intense visualization of a person right before they're about to check out from this world. It's kind of like a slow motion of going inside the mind and heart of a person that is about to die. And all the what ifs start surfacing. It doesn't say the age of the person. It doesn't necessarily say what he neglected or it doesn't really go into that many details of more than just, oh my God, what if I could have looked at life and lived it differently. And then I keep on waiting for him to say, and now you wake up, you're not that person, but he hasn't done that yet, you know? He did that in other pieces in the Piasetzner Torah, but here he doesn't do it yet. And it pushed, this piece really, when I say messed with me, I'm happy. When pieces mess with us and it's pieces of Torah that mess with us, that's a good thing, you know? It's a very good thing. I'll just share with you, brothers, very quickly, because it's a whole parsha, but just share with you like this. This last Shabbos, I went with Toby to Tel Aviv. It was awesome. It was awesome. I don't have the words to describe how high it was, how holy it was, how invigorating it was. Basically, we're opening up this institute, Be'ezrat Hashem, this coming Elul, right? Zimrat Ha'aretz. We're opening up. Oh, you didn't? Yeah, we're opening up a whole new. Here, in which each of you are going to benefit from tremendously.
What's it called?
Zimrat Ha'aretz, the song of the land. And we have the best, we have stars, we have an amazing group of guys that are guys, they're families, they're moving here.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, they're moving into your place. They didn't tell you? They're moving into In any event, we're trying to, Baruch Hashem, just with the world of networking that we're doing, there's a bunch of kehilas that are so hungry for the gifts Hashem gave us, and to connect different communities together and start setting the stage for conquering the whole country. So we had a Shabbos in Tel Aviv. There was 400 chevra came to shul Friday night. I couldn't believe it. Fire. Now, I didn't get to learn as much as I wanted to this Shabbos. Saying, it just lo yatzali. because it was so much, it was so many people, nonstop. And I was getting really angry at myself by Mincha, that I didn't get through anything, that I usually, not Tehillim, not learning, whatever. And then I remembered this piece. And I closed my eyes and I said, am I going to be that guy, Imirtz Hashem, when he's 119, 120, that he's on his bed and he's saying to himself, God, you were so stuck on your own limud, your own learning, your own davening, when you could have just chucked that out of your mind and just been in Gan Eden, that your mamish, it's on the beach in Tel Aviv, with hundreds of chevra that were flying so high and just basking in that light. And then I realized that, like, I don't want to be that person that goes through that vision. At least one vision I don't want to have on my, deathbed of like, what could have been that Shabbos in Tel Aviv. And I went back to Shul for Mincha Ma'ariv and Shalosh Shudas, and again, it's packed with hungry eyes. Remember that song from the 80s? Anyone remember that song? Gam v'gam. Gam v'gam. Gam v'gam. I'll tell you a moment that mamish captured my soul, that I'm so happy that I witnessed it. The guy walks in to Shul Shabbos morning, and he walks inside with one of those like conservative bar mitzvah yarmulkes.
Jews for a day.
Huh?
Jews for a day.
Vain. The Jews for life, but you know what I mean. Like, so this guy walks in, and he has a telephone in his hand, and you see he's walking up and down the aisle. He's looking. Toby and I saw this, and then they got to Kaddish. The guy screamed, Kaddish Yatom. And this he looked like a Samech Tet. You know what that is? Sfaradi Tahor, like one of these like ancient Sephardic families, right? He stops in his place, and there's a guy next to him saying Kaddish, and they start Yitkadal V'Yitkadash Mirabah. He starts going into Kaddish. And he said what he said by heart, and what he didn't know he didn't say because he just didn't know it. But he kept on going in and out of Kaddish. And someone kept on giving him a siddur, and I kept on saying, no. He went through I'd say he went through a third of Kaddish, between all the words of Kaddish. He said Kaddish, looked up, tear, walked out of Shul.
That's it.
The highest Kaddish I ever heard in my life. He was looking for a place where he could just come in and say Kaddish for a second. So, in our minds, we can be people that are like, but you know what? If we were really carving, then we wouldn't show him exactly what spot he's on and then make sure he doesn't leave so he could stay for Kaddish. And what do we know? We're going to get on our Ezer Hashem on the deathbed right before we pass away, and it's not going to be all the what ifs of like only what you could have done, but it's also how many more moments in life you could have been fully living in the moment. How many more moments where did you spend thinking what else should be done right now, as opposed to, wow, just witnessing this moment right now? It happened to me again recently somewhere else. Oh, I was with my Rebbe in the studio last week or 2 weeks ago. Rav Weinberger was here, right? And the last day before he left, we went to the studio to go over songs for a project that we're doing. And it was such a high moment in the studio. But the Yetzer Hara was again in my mind while we were sitting there listening to a song. Rebbe started crying, and I thought to myself, okay, what's the Kabbalah right now? Meaning, what am I supposed to take on myself right now? It's an Eis Ratzon, it feels right. And then I heard myself say, the Kabbalah is to shut up. The Kabbalah is right now to be. That's the Kabbalah. That is the moment. That is the moment. Afterwards, it'll still be a long extended moment. In the pieces that we've been singing by the Piasetzner Rebbe, as opposed to last parak where the whole visualization exercise was Yetzias Mitzrayim, here the Rebbe is saying, let's go to a place that no human being has been able to escape from before in this world. What's that called? Death. So it's probable that you will have an experience similar to this. The question is, how are you going to go through it? Like a winner or like a loser? The Rebbe was just, his imagination, his visualization, and his art of expressing it. I've never seen anything like this before. This perek is mind-blowing. So in the middle of perek Chet, we're on Daf Tzadik Hey, and I don't remember exactly which. Remember, Moshe, which one? Hoy? Hoy, we started? Yeah?
No, we didn't start.
Hoy, we didn't start.
Did he write this before the show up?
It's amazing. I want to say what's amazing about your question is that everyone's been asking that question. Because it really would make sense if he was writing this in the ghetto. Mamash. But this is before, and it's just... not that before things were peachy for Polish Jewry and everyone was... It wasn't exactly Sasam V'Simcha either, but it wasn't the scenario of where the Eish Kodesh was written. It wasn't the ghetto, right? This is just unbelievable. This is Sefer is called Hachsharat HaAvrechim. Hachsharat HaAvrechim Perek Chet. Hoy, you see the second paragraph in Tzadikei. Hoy mam marim hem Yisurei HaMavet. Ooh, how bitter the afflictions of death are. ומה מאוד קשה לסובלם כשעוד מהולים בחרפה ומיאוס מעצמו מכל חייו. But you know what really makes it bitter? When you're bitter and you're embarrassed and you're disgusted about the way you chose to live your life. That's what makes it really bitter. I think we did this, Moshe. No? רוצה הוא לקלל את יום היוולדו? We think we did this. He wants to curse the day he was born, לחיים מגואלים וייסורים מרים כאלה. Okay, next paragraph. מה עשה מן שנות חייו? ומה היה יכול לעשות מהם? By the way, did anyone do homework? It was such fun, easy homework I gave last time. No? What was the homework? You're so frum, you don't watch movies anymore. It's unbelievable. Everyone's so frum
I tried
here.
to watch it.
Did you watch it?
I went to watch it.
Mbaya, it's good, it's good. You were so busy with other
I
things.
don't know. There was a cost associated with the movie. I don't buy movies.
Yeah, it just had a preview.
Mbaya, I'll give it to anyone that wants it. It's been on my computer since the moment I heard.
Watch it.
Okay.
Which movie?
Defending your life. Defending your life. What a
Someone
chiddush.
actually reached out to me and asked me
What is it about?
Yeah.
It's exactly about this line. Look, מה עשה מן שנות חייו ומה היה יכול לעשות מהם. What was your life? What did you do with your life? And what could have you done with your life? That's what this movie's about. מה מאושר היה אם היה מתנהג בכל דבר בדרך התורה, הטהרה והחסידות. How happy a person would have been had they chosen to walk every step of their life through Torah, through purity, and through Chassidut. Et midotav al kol panim haya over letoknan. You'd be constantly working on your midot. Tachlit kol achilato shtiyato af mischaro haya rak l'shem Hashem sheyuchal le'avdel. The purpose of your eating, your drinking, your sleeping, your business would all be l'shem Hashem. You do whatever you can, only with the consciousness of, this is going to enable me to serve you better. For instance, I'm going to eat now to have koach, to daven like a lion, to learn like a lion, mamish. I'm going to go to sleep so I could wake up with koach. I'm going to make money so I could have yishuv adat, to learn and to do mitzvahs and to do chesed. ואפילו אם עוד לא היו מתוקנים שיהיו בלתי להשם לבדו, and even if it's not completely fixed the way that I live my life, על כל פנים, you know what, nonetheless, היה עובד בעצמו שיעשה הכל לשם השם. I would try to do my best that everything I do is לשם השם. ותמיד תשוקתו זו הייתה נגד עיניו. This is the passion that I could have lived my life with in front of me every day of my life. איך להתקרב אל הקדוש ברוך הוא ואל קדושתו ואל תורתו. How I can serve God, come close to Him, to His holiness, to His Torah. ובכל פעם היה מסתכל בקרבו וראה כל פגם ונגע והשתדל לתקנם. And if this is generally the way that I'm conducting my life, generally, then anything that would come in front of me, I would see as an opportunity to try and work and fix, as opposed to, Hashem, why are you making my life so miserable? You know, that's the greatest v'nafochu we could do in our life. The things that come and irk at us, to see, wow, what an opportunity that you're pointing out what I have to work on, as opposed to, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, why are you rubbing it in my face, and why are you making life so difficult? You know, you need chaverim, this is a chabura, you need chaverim to be talking about this on our chat all day long. These reminders, these things of how could I change the way I experience and perceive a stumbling block as, you know, thank you for pointing this out to me, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What a gift to live in this world not in a coma, as opposed to, God, why do I keep on seeing things as if Hashem is trying to get to me all day long? Well, He is trying to get to you all day long, but you know what I mean with the other lashon of it, right? Ve'az Af im bechol eile, mi yizke lefanav badin. And even with all this is what we say Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, right? Who could say they can merit the right judgment, that they really, really are right and they did everything right? But you know what? Mikol makom haya yodea she'achar she'ikabel onsho b'gehenom yashuv elav yitbarach litzror b'tzror l'chaim et nishmato. But at least a person like this can say, you know what? I'll get the patch. You know patches. We said this a few weeks ago. Right. You got patches, Ellie? Yeah, you got patches. Anyone here get patches? Reb Reuven, you didn't get patches?
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
You got a patch, right? You got a patch? Right. You can tell them what chinuch people grew up in, right? Patches. Ira, you got patches? Yeah. I'm not going to ask who gives patches. That's already a limit to how much we could deny. So after I get that patch, it's like, you know what? Okay, I have to go through this Yisurim and Markim. I have to go through this cleansing through Gehenim. But I know, Tehen Nishmasi Tzrura B'Tzrura Chaim. Meaning, like, I know it's going to be okay in the bigger picture. Because I know my life was an attempt to be real. I know my life was an attempt to be refined and to be authentic. At least that I know. There was an attempt here. I tried really hard to be a mensch. I did. Was I matzliach or not? He's saying no one knows. The point is not to see if when you die that it worked or not. The point is, while you were alive, that you mamish gave it your best shot to be a mensch, to be an Eved Hashem, to live your life al pitar as a chassidus, al pitar pitahara. Ma she'en ken ata, האם יש עוד להסתפק לו בדינו במרום איך יצא, כשגם בעיני עצמו כך הוא נראה, ורעדה תאחזהו מגועל נפש על עצמו? But now let's go back to the guy that's on his deathbed and he's looking back at his life and all he could say is, Goal nefesh. Okay, that's not where we want to head to. That is not the visualization. I don't wish this on anybody that they're on their deathbed and they're looking back at their life. It's all coming as a flash, and all a person could say is, Goal nefesh. You could say that maybe about certain moments that you've tried to delete in life. Yes.
What's that mean?
Disgusting.
Oh.
Like, but inner, like inside, disgust, right? You're saying
While you're alive, you could say that. Before you're on the deathbed, I'm not a the person should say, "Oh, it's disgusting." Well,
No, I'm saying, but while we're alive, we could still work on your deathbed. He's saying over here now. He's saying, you don't want to get to the place where you look back at the show. They show you the video, right? Or this, like they show you the video when you check out. But he's saying you play your own video before you check out, and your response is, "Oy vey, goyal nefesh." You don't. He's saying, let's not get there, boys.
is it good to get there while you're alive?
It's good to point out things to correct. Betach, 100%. And you know already in our base midrash, none of us buy this whole thing. I don't regret anything. You should regret things. The Rambam was actually a very big believer in the concept of charata as a key point of tshuva. It's important to have moments in life where we're like, goyal nefesh, of course. But if me looking at the thing that I'm disgusted at and I say goyal nefesh makes me feel lower afterwards, it's the Satan. Meaning if acknowledging goyal nefesh in my life keeps me down, and there's nothing holy about calling out goyal nefesh. It's the other side.
Are there a lot of stories of two tzaddikim right before their deathbed crying and Rebbe, I wish I would have. You're talking about overall picture goyal nefesh, not individual.
I'm going to read his words again. Let's see. I'm going to read his words again. מה שאין כן אתה, האם יש עוד להסתפק לו בדינו במרום איך יצא? A person's going to be worried about what his judgment is going to be in Shamayim while he's still here. כשגם בעיני עצמו כך הוא נראה, ורעדה תאחזהו מגועל נפש על עצמו, and literally he's trembling and he's shaking from the goal nefesh that he feels about how he lived his life in this world. Pretty barur, no? It's pretty intense. Pretty intense.
So it's really interesting because there's a lot of Pirushim that say Gehenim is the regret that you feel when you look back and say, how great I could have been. And so even in this world, you can go through a Gehenna by having the regret, and Hashem gives Hashem back to you while you're still alive.
It is a perush, but here he's speaking about, it's true, but here he's saying there's a person that tried really hard. That person wouldn't look at his life as Goal Nefesh, the first level. He would say, yeah, there was a lot of things I had to work on. I tried. Bemet, I tried while I was alive. The other guy, here, he's saying, I think what the Rebbe is saying is, you're already in Gehenna.
That's Gehenna, exactly. That is the
now.
And then you...
Well, he didn't say that.
Okay.
He didn't say it's a poter otcha, and now when you die, smooth sailing Gan Eden. As long as you felt disgusted when you're 99. He didn't say that. We would all bank on that. We'd all be like, did you hear this Shita? You have to be really disgusted, like inside disgust on your deathbed. And Zil, right? We would all be banking on that get out of here.
There is one time that he cried till he died and said, Yesh koneh lamon b'sha'achat.
Yeah, nachon. But again, we don't, if en somchin al hanes, we can't be samech on these things. It's true. We know these things to be true, but it's not the way. None of us could live like that.
Is he saying don't do this, or you don't want to be in a place?
He's explaining about. I don't know how many people he's referring to here, but and how many people around the Piasetzner Rebbe lived like this. But he's describing what could happen to us and what happens to a lot of people. I've shared with you guys when I was working in Los Angeles in the hospital, in the Cedar Sinai Medical Center there as the Rav. So I met a lot of these kind of guys. Usually their names were Abe for some reason. In my case, I don't know why. I met a lot of these people that they're on their way out, and they're disgusted by their life. Mamash, disgusted by it. It was such a depressing thing to see. Then these guys I had this shita, they would either check out or they would slowly deteriorate. And it was, I would come home and tell my father, I'm 18, I don't know if I should keep on doing this it's 3 mornings a week. So I had a shita that on the 4 North Tower, 4N, it was 2 towers, South and North Towers. So 7 and 8, like up there, the higher you were in the tower, the more bad your matzav was. Do you remember the place? A little bit. So, right. Well, Baruch Hashem, I started a shita that I would run down to 4 North because 4 North was maternity. I'd run down to just look at babies through windows after meeting this chavra. I had to. It was such a contrast. For me, it was such a hisar. It was for my life saying, okay, Hashem's saying like, you want an honest Abe, right? That's right. You want to sound like him, or do you want to believe again in chiyus and bria chadasha? It was such an intense time, but I don't know why I thought about this right now. Next paragraph. Mi yodea ma ye'aseh bo, u'mi yodea im chas v'sholom lo yashlicheu Hashem milfanav. This guy's standing there, he's like, I have no idea what's going to be my gzardin. I don't know what's going to be with me. Right? I'm about to check out and I have no idea what's going to be with me. Ma lo ata la'asot? What is this person supposed to do right now? רוצה הוא לקרוע את בשרו מעליו, אבל חבל אין עצה אתה. He wants to rip off his own flesh from himself. He can't do anything. Bless you. בוכהו ושב בתשובה. He's crying, he's trying to do tshuva. אבל בעצמו מתבייש לשוב. But he's even embarrassed to start returning to Hashem. כי עיקרה של תשובה, because what's tshuva all about? היא שמהיום יעצור את תאוותו ולא ישוב מחטאו. Tshuva is, I'm going to stop doing what I'm doing wrong, put a brakes on this lust issue that I have, and now continue to live my life clean. והאם עוד יצר יש לו? But the person saying, I'm about to die. Do I even have a yetzer hara in me anymore? I'm checking out of here. והאם עוד יחיה שיבטיח שלא יוסיף לחטוא? Like this person saying, all those words I heard about, im yashuv miyat tekablo and all these things, and like you said, en adam kone alama ela b'sha achas, it's all true, but he's saying over here, I'm embarrassed to do tshuva. You know why? Because tshuva really means, like, I really am choosing another way of living, but I'm about to die. I'm not living. And in that mind, in that limited mind, time is the biggest Yetzer Hara in the world. Because my mind says to me, on a time level, I have to really spend a lot of actual time to contrast all the schmutz and goel nefesh that I'm feeling. It's only in Olam Haba and Olam HaEmes that time is even time is an illusion down here, but there's not the illusion of time. Anu yameinu ketzei lover, v'atahu shnotecha lo itamu. What are we saying to him in the morning, Shabbos morning? Ki elef shanim be'enecha keyom etmol. 1,000 years for us is for Hashem like yesterday, like a blink of an eye. This person's stuck in the confines of this world, so he starts to get embarrassed when he says, "Well, I'm doing tshuva, but to really be about tshuva means I have to stop living like this, but I'm dying." So what's the tshuva even, right? He's saying it leads a person to. He's not right, by the way. The Rebbe is not saying this person is right for thinking like this. He's explaining just what's going on in his mind, because we have to believe. Mamish Shah Achas. Jerry used to always quote me his Rav from Chicago, Rabbi Shechter. Rabbi Shechter would say at Ne'ilah. Ari, you remember Rabbi Shechter? You remember Rabbi Shechter? Yeah. He would say at Ne'ilah every year, Shah Achas. Sha'ah lish'ot means to turn, actually. Like one turn, one movement. Hoshana Shah Achas. Hoshana Shalosh Sha'os. Just a little bit of turning a direction could be exactly what you need to do in order to really grant yourself a life of salvation. But we can't bank on these things. We don't live like this me'chatchila, but we still have to believe b'di'evad that these are real inyanim. This is the Rebbe saying, and the Rebbe, you see what a gadol he was in modern psychology, because the Rebbe is talking about the worst thing in the world that happens to people. What's the worst thing that happens to people? That they get old. Not literally get old. Everyone grows. Everyone gets old every day. You're all older than you were this morning. Old meaning that you feel old. This person feels old. Mamish old, rightfully so. He's about to check out. And the Rebbe is saying you do not want to end up when you're in a state of feeling old and you don't feel like you have koyach to even work on yourself. You don't want to get there. But you have to do this type of visualization and imagery sometimes to awaken the deepest thoughts inside of us today.
Shake you up.
Mamish, yeah, big time. Big time. And again, he's saying this, we got to do this not when we come back from a funeral. You got to do this on a Monday morning, learning Achshar Savrechin. Life, middle of our life, summertime, Kol Sababa, everything's fine. Yeah, Dafka now, exactly, Dafka now. This is when it really, really sinks in. Back inside. Now he's going back on the deathbed. Look at this. Ben kach uven kach ve'yine hisig atkafat halev. While he's worrying about all these things, what does he get? He gets a heart attack. V'rash na'asa b'veito. His house. Mevi'im rofim ve'osim lo zrikot bli mispar tachat ha'oru ba'agidim. Doctors are coming in, they're shooting him up with all these different types of things to try to save him. Remember, this is 1925, 1930, so they, yeah. What would he say today?
Morphine.
Or
later.
Huh?
Defibrillator.
Yeah, defibrillators, whatever they're using, okay? Vehu odo mevin vero'eh b'tzar beito. This person's having a heart attack, but he could still see and realize what kind of tsar he's putting his family in. Ishto zo'eket sheyoter en la malichiyot. I have nothing to live for, the missus says. Bno boche v'tzo'ek. Ribono shel olam, kol od gid echad dofek rachem na v'ten li matana יקרה זו, et avi hayakar lanu mikol chayenu. And this person can hear his son screaming, Hashem, please, please leave us with this gift called Abba. Let me still have Abba. Let me still have Abba. And the person can hear this. The person that person we've been talking about. ומבנותיו סתם צעקה מתפרצת כאילו עומדות הן להתפקע כולן. He's saying women are a bit more dramatic. That's what he just said, basically. He's saying they're screaming as if they're all about to die, right? That's literally what he just said right now. והוא שוכב כאבן דומם. And you're lying there like a rock that's דומם. That's motionless, yeah. הרופא מרים את ידו והעוזר את רגלו והוא כאילו לא ידו ולא רגלו היו. The doctor and assistant lifting up your hand and your arm, your leg. You have no koyach to lift up anything. והלב מתכווץ. And the heart's contracting. How does he say there, David? The heart?
Is compressed and pound.
Compressed and pound.
The angel of death.
ודוחק, it's pounding, כאילו מלאך המוות כולו הניח את עצמו עליו. Like the angel of death has fully asserted himself on, yeah, בדיוק. You feeling it? ודוחקו ודוחפו עד לקבר, ושם יעשה עמו מה שיעשה. He feels the angel of death is basically saying, I'm going to stand on this guy until we get him in 6 feet under. I'm not stopping, right? I'm not stopping until I get him in there. And then I can do with him whatever I want to do with him. וגונח הוא גניחות כבדות ונחילות. And he starts to let out these גניחות, these moans and groans. ומה קשה עבודתו אז בליבו ורעתו. מקצץ ארזים וקוצץ אילנות. What does he say there, David?
His heart and lungs are strained to the utmost.
Continue.
Now I feel a little better.
עוד הוטב לו, מעט, וממהר הוא לבשר ולשמח את בני בתו ברמז. So, okay, whatever they did, the morphine, the equivalent, right? It worked. Okay, whatever it did worked for the moment. הוטב לו מעט. He wants to tell his kids, ולשמח את בני ביתו ברמז וקריצת שפתיים, כי הוטב לו מעט. He wants to give over to them the signal, okay, that was a close call. אבל אין חוכמה, אין עצה ואין תבונה נגד השם צבקות. השתדלו ברופאים שונים ובתרופות שונות, וכשהגיעה השעה מוכרח הוא להיפטר. But when Hashem says it's time, it's time. And no matter how many doctors we have in this world to prolong or to, to push off, to extend, he's saying, listen, at the end of the day, this kid realizes when God says it's time, it's mamish time. Okay, have a good day, No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But I just wanted I just wanted us to realize, like,
Somebody walk me home, right? Take me home. Good. Call my wife.
right. So the reason why we're able to even be smiling right now is because we're crazy, because we're shtickle crazy a little bit. But I think it's also because we're so thankful that Hashem sends us Torahs like these while we're on the way. While we're on the way. These are Torahs. Could be. This is הבחירה שלי. This is our shah. This is my bechira. This is my bechira. What's going to happen, a person, there are people that they're really conscious every single day of the fact that maybe they couldn't have had today. There are people that live like this, right? It's a big avoda. It's a very special avoda. It's an amazing way to live, as long as it doesn't suffocate you to the point that you can't relate to anybody, and you don't want to do anything, and you don't want to take any risks on anything, because then that's not life either. So the Rebbe is really working with us, and he's saying over here, like, what's the point of a perek like this? Again, hitrachvut v'itchaskut v'itpashtut hamachshava. Strengthening the way that I think. That when I have holy thoughts, I want to make them last longer. And that when an evil thought comes in, if I'm constantly in the zone of working on my thoughts, when something that I don't want to kind of like hover over me comes in, it's a much faster process of eliminating it. When this is generally the way that I'm living. But if I only think about these things once in a blue moon, then when the other dark thoughts start to come inside me, they take over me so much longer and for so much more time. What we're going to see on Wednesday is an amazing, powerful description of what a person goes through when they're transitioning to the next world from the Zohar. You'll see the whole thing here is in Aramaic, but then he translates it in the next paragraph. So we're going to continue this visualization. And I dafka, listen, we could knock this whole thing off in one shear. You know that. It's just reading a lot of things and descriptions. It's not hard to understand what he's saying. It's just hard to digest. But Beshita, we're dafka taking our time to a certain extent, even though we did read a lot today, because these things need to really simmer in and seep deep, deep down inside in order for the bigger picture to happen, which is the strengthening and widening and longing of the thoughts that we want to have that make us wake up and make us feel better. So Be'ezer Hashem will continue this Wednesday morning. All right. So, hey, and listen, you use the chat. Like that's what it's there for. It's that's mamash what it's there for. Use it. Ask for reminders. Ask for help. Keep on going there, Be'ezrat Hashem. Right. Yom Shbi Geula Dika Day, everybody. Day of absolute redemption.